give me fire, give me that which I desire.
All right, welcome back to Wind Tunnel TV. Tonight, it's the North-South Racing League and their late models taking on Southern National in the SoNatty Showdown Championship night. Who's going to get it? Fortin's out looking for it. I'm Dean Doucette, joined tonight by Mr. Colin J. Kennedy and Mr. Jason Martin. Colin, championship night doesn't get any better than this.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, we got a pretty tight battle for the lead almost the entire season that's led up to just this race. You know, you see Guillaume and Bryan Hacker 14 points apart with a lot of points and a lot of play left in this race. And we've heard it multiple times from Bryan Hacker that this is one of his favorite tracks, so he's going to be dangerous tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Jason, we look in on those points. I mean, bonus points are going to be big tonight, aren't they?
Bonus points are going to be huge. They could make the difference in this championship. If there's 14 points between first and second place, even third place, he may be on the outside, but he's looking in.
Absolutely. I mean, tonight, Hacker's got to do everything from trying to get the pole to trying to get out there and get all these bonus points. Clean race, race winner, lead the laps. I mean, he's going to be hunting it all. We take a look in on Southern National right now. Now, Colin, you've driven the track. How do you feel about Southern National?
Sadly, this is one of my least favorite tracks. I don't really like this track too much. It really feels like a short Dover. It's one of those tracks that just washes you out. You know, there's a lot of banking 7 degrees on the straightaways, 17 in the corners, and it's really just a kind of a bottom feeder track. You don't really see the second lane come in, so a lot of people are going to be fighting for that bottom. But overall, I mean, it's one of those tracks that's going to be hard to get out of the corner.
Well, it's going to be hard. Now, Fortin, your points leader, Jason, he'll be starting at the rear. EOL, because of getting that race win last week, how much problem is he going to have? We just heard, you know, it's kind of a single groove track a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for him, Dean. Like I said, he's going to have to hope on getting a couple of those bonus points by having a clean race, maybe knocking out the quickest lap. They do have 2 sets of tires, though, so pit stops will probably come into play, and he might be able to use some pit strategy to get some track position to help himself out.
You look in on Bryan Hacker right now. Of course, he has got to have a big lap here. Now, we do a redraw for the top 8, but fastest time here in qualifying will get a point. He needs every single point he can get. We'll stay with him here and see if he can put in a good hot lap here. Looks like a solid corner. Hacker to the top. Fortin right on top of him. Stealing that point away. Guillaume Fortin.
Yeah, by only 1/100th of a second, too. So not a big margin between those two.
Wow. Before the race even starts, these guys are racing. And they are 2/10 up on the next guy, as far as I can tell here.
Yeah, it just shows how competitive this league is, Dean. We also got our third place guy in the points, Ryan Johnson, who put a time up of a 14.259, currently in 8th place for qualifying. Of course, still have the redraw.
Wow. So drama beginning early. Fortin leaving nothing to chance here tonight. He comes out, steals that point, opens that gap to 15. I mean, we seen the swing last week. Colin, when you look at it, you know, you might feel it's not possible, but the evidence points to it is possible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's half the time we see a lot of the guys that come from the back actually end up either winning the race or finishing in the top 3. I mean, you really just can learn a lot about your car throughout the race, but it's a lot like what happened to Bryan last week. Bryan got put back in the field pretty deep, and then calamity happened, and he just sadly got involved in it and really couldn't do nothing. So Guillaume's really got to watch himself this race. He really just needs to run clean.
Yeah, well, we talked a lot about that last week, and patience and clean and all of that. He's going to have to do that, there's no doubt, while Hacker's going to have to get up here and lead laps and win this race. There is no other way. He must win here tonight. Looking on the Silver Surfer here. Love that metallic, I mean. My goodness.
Beautiful.
Good looking car. Especially on the lights there.
Well, I like to see my reflection a lot, Jason, so.
We all know this, Dean. We all know.
The crowd disagrees.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of that going around. Keeler out there turning a few laps in the 08 machine. Love the odd shaped number there, something a little unique on the 08 machine. All right, looks like we got everybody up and in the booth. We're ready to get into tonight's redraw. We bring in race control, Mr. Sam Maxwell.
Good evening, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, it's championship night. The SoNatty here, the SoNatty Showdown, going to be a hot one, Sam.
200 laps tonight. It's going to be all about conservation. Mark my words.
Okay, you heard it, folks. Sam Maxwell giving a little insight there, Sam. Let's get into our redraw here. Who we got up first?
All right. The first eligible driver is the 02 of Bryan Hacker.
Well, Brian, I mean, we watched a little bit of the qualifying. You are the first eligible draw, but you needed that point. That 410 becoming a little thorn in your side, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on a roll right now, so hopefully him starting in the back will slow him up a little bit, and we can hopefully draw well and stay up front and see how the cards play out.
So 200 laps, a little longer here tonight. Is there any specific strategy? Are we talking about a tire stop tonight?
I would imagine everybody's going to pit for tires at some point in time tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, it's going to be, 200 laps is a long time regardless of how big the track is, so we'll see how it plays out.
All right, Brian. Well, best of luck tonight. A clear board for you. Give us a number.
Oh, I've been wrong all season, so let's go a number I normally wouldn't pick, and we'll go 7.
Number 7 for Mr. Hack. The big question mark is up. Wow! Hacker on the pole here this evening. How about that?
About time.
The gods have finally come your way, Brian.
It's only taken 13 nights.
Hey, it's the biggest night, though. Go get him, brother.
Thank you.
All right, Sam, who's up?
All right, guys. Next up is the 20 of Travis Hofler.
Travis Hofler. Travis, how we feeling tonight?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right, well, we going to get out here and steal some thunder here tonight? A little spotlight, perhaps?
I'd like to. We're going to see how it plays out. It's going to take some patience tonight. Like Sam said, it's going to take, tire conservation is going to be key.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right? I mean, we're kind of a go-go league out here, and this might be a little bit different here tonight. Do you think the longer running will show some track change, perhaps develop that high side a little bit?
Possibly. Seemed like in practice, top side kind of saved a little bit better than the bottom, which is kind of normal, but it might push everybody up higher. Should create some other lanes of racing.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, and I hope for you. You got the board, anything but 7. Of course, the pole is gone.
I'll take 1.
Number 1, little question mark again. You're going to be forced, so we talk high side, you go to the high side, Travis.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do from out there and hope for the best. Thanks, guys.
All right, brother, good luck. Sam, who's up?
Next up is the 89 of Dustin Shepard.
Dustin Shepard, showing speed on the short run, starting to show speed on the long run. Long race tonight, Dustin. What are you thinking?
I'm going to blow the right front.
I love you, Dustin. We're going to cook that sucker up and go for it.
It didn't go too well in practice. Of course, it was daylight, and I was killing the right front. It's fast, short run. I said I'll try to save a little bit and ride, but odds are I'll probably still burn it off.
Well, I mean, you got to know yourself a little bit. You definitely do that. Hopefully, something will go your way here. Maybe save those tires for late in the race and go get them on a short run.
Gonna try.
All right, brother. Anything but 1 or 7 on the board.
Let's go 8. Hopefully it's the outside of the front row.
Number 8 will get you 8. Sorry about that, man.
Wow.
Oh,
It's not fair. The world's not fair, Dustin.
It's not. It is not. Thank you, guys.
All right, Sam, who's up?
next up, the 23 of Gary Eschen.
Gary Ashen looking to put this thing in victory lane. Don't care too much about points here this evening. Gary, we gonna get up here and play a little bit of spoiler?
We could try. I would like to actually get a win this season, but yeah, cars went pretty good. I had a league race here last Wednesday, so I got some seat time with that. So I think at the end, I think we'll be pretty good.
All right, well, that's always good stuff. So learned a little bit about the track and everything. I'm not going to ask you to give out any secrets, but do you think something from learning from that can play into your hands here tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to give away those secrets, but I think we'll be pretty good.
Hold those to the chest, my friend, and hold your lucky charms here. Anything but 1, 7, or 8.
I always pick 4. Let's go 4 again.
Number 4. Let's see what he's got. Gonna be 5th, Gary.
Hey, we'll take it.
All right, go fight, brother.
Thank you.
Who's up, Sam?
Next up, the 91, Adam Gable.
Adam Gable. Thrilling us a week ago, I do believe, but heartache come up, Adam. Are you gonna get one of these things?
God, I hope so.
We do too, Adam. We were hoping for you, man. Not the best of luck out there. Some tough competition, I tell you. These guys are really difficult out here, and you're one of them now. How's it feel? I mean, you're getting towards the end of the season, perhaps getting close to victory lane, but to be putting your name up here with these guys, you're like I said, you're one of them now. It's got to build some confidence.
Yeah, it helps the confidence a little bit, that knowing that I can compete with the fast guys in this league.
All right, well, let's go compete here. There's still some top spots out here. You got 2, 3, 5, or 6.
Let's do 2.
Number 2, looking for 2. Let's see what happens. Gonna have the long wait here. The anticipation's killing me on these things. Gonna be 6 here tonight, Adam.
That's okay.
All right, brother. Long race. Go get them.
Thanks.
All right, Sam, who's up?
Next up is the 5 of Scott Austin.
Scott Austin, member of that Austin Designs out there. How we feeling tonight, Scott?
Good, guys. Final one of the season. It's a long one. I like this track. Looking forward to it.
Well, I like it. Positive vibes coming from the 5 machine here. So you're going to get up there and battle. Is it a distraction on championship night? Do you feel you got to lay off of these guys, or you just treat it like another race?
Yeah, it's a tough battle. I feel like I'm in a good point spot. I kind of got a long way ahead and a long way behind, but championship night, you want to do good, but you also got to conserve stuff with such a long race that eats tires. So we'll see how it plans out.
Absolutely. Love watching your race. Can't wait to see what you do tonight. You got 3, 5, or 6?
We'll go 5.
Number 5. That's my number, by the way. Oh, man, it's not my number. I take that back. 7th place, Scott. Sorry about that.
No worries, guys. Have a good night.
You too, brother. All right, Sam, who's up?
Next up, the 38 of Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. And if someone wants to win, I think it's you, Ryan. You had enough of playing second fiddle, I bet.
It'd be nice to come away with one.
Absolutely, Ryan. So do you think you got the stuff tonight? How's Southern National treating you?
Normally not too bad. We'll see how tonight goes. A tire conservation I like, so we'll see.
So patience in order tonight. Is that something you're thinking about, the longer race?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, brother. It might play into your hands. We know how good you are in the long run. 3 or 6?
Let's go 3.
And that's a quick reveal this time. Going to be third. Not bad. Inside row for you, Ryan.
I'll take it.
All right. Good luck, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Sam. Who's our last lucky contestant?
Our last eligible driver tonight is the 15 of Matt Cook.
Matt Cook doesn't get a chance to pick his own number, but draws second. How about that, Matt?
Well, that's a little luck to start the race, I guess. Can't complain about that.
Absolutely. So you start by moving up basically 7 spots. I mean, now it's just one more. You just got to put the bumper to them. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that idea sounds good. I'm not sure I'll actually do it. I kind of just want to find a good spot to settle in and get some laps going and see how this thing's going to turn out.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. I mean, you got to be thinking, hey, you know, I've had some hard luck here and whatever, and maybe tonight it all comes together. I mean, you start off with a good draw. Are you thinking, hey, you know, I got something here at Southern National?
Hey, you never know how these things are going to turn out, and I'm excited to get it going.
All right, brother. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Sam. Any final words here on championship night?
Well, like I said, I think it's going to be conservation. You're going to have to save your tires. It's going to be a stretch, only 2 sets tonight. So we'll see how it plays out.
Is that 2 sets in the garage or 2 total?
That's 2 total for tonight.
Okay, 1 set in the garage for these guys. So, I mean, when they come in, it's going to play big, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be stretching it.
All right, well, I can't wait to get it going. Best of luck up there in race control, and we'll talk to you later, Sam.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Colin, we heard all the drawing, all the drama here, and we're ready to go racing.
Well, first, Bryan Hacker finally got bit by Lady Luck tonight, so it's going to be nice seeing him start from the front this time, not actually having to pass nobody.
Oh, how about that? Getting bit
so
by the ladies. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, he might be into it. You never know. Anyway. But, you know, I like what a lot of these guys are talking about. You know, a lot of these guys were talking about tire wear, and this track is known for that because you just drive off that right front so much here. But a lot of them were saying that the tire wear wasn't as bad on the high side, or maybe like a half a lane up. So you might see some of these guys just honestly cruise around, not on the bottom, but like a half a lane up for these the first portion of this race, just to save that right front. But sometimes that does cause the car to handle differently.
So, Jason, we look here. The first bit of luck needed was to get up here and be up front. Hacker draws good. Now, doesn't get that pole point, but if he can lead this first lap, that's the first point to counter out that pole from Fortin.
I mean, Bryan is definitely has the upper hand in this situation. Guillaume is starting from the rear. With Hacker more than likely going to lead this first lap. He's going to neutralize that pole point and be even up with him, so he's definitely starting off right.
All right, we're ready to go racing in the SoNatty Showdown Championship night here at Southern National. I can't wait to get into this one. Bit of a longer one, but they click off awfully quick. You're going to see if that early stop will pay off, or will someone hang on to a set of tires till later and make a late run. We're going to find out here right away. It's Cook up front with Hacker on the outside. Johnson and Hoffler, Gable and Eschen, Austin and Shepard, and we're going green flag racing. Nice clean start. Cook trying to hook the outside, nothing doing there. Hacker was going to come through and grab that all-important point he was looking for.
Right, so with this lead lap led by Bryan, he neutralizes the pole point that Guillaume got. So back to 14 down.
14 down and counting, and we'll try our best to try and keep count of that for you folks. Meanwhile, back here, Austin and Hoffler going at it. Behind them, Smith and Gable going at it. Hacker sets his fast lap, as does many. Cook sets the fastest lap of the race, so Cook hooked up early.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of these guys kind of have like a high entry in the corner, lower exit, just straight out that exit a little bit, and it's going to save that right front just a little bit more than it usually would. So obviously already a little bit of tire saving, but these guys do still look a little aggressive right now.
Oh yeah, race car drivers calling. They don't know how to take it easy.
Absolutely not, and I'm surprised we ain't seen Dustin Shepard not try to shove it in on this 96 just yet.
I always love, Jason, when you're talking to a driver and you tell them, look, we're going to wait till lap 40. We're just going to take it easy and ride around. And about lap 3, they turn it up a notch.
Yeah, it's that once you put the helmet on, plan goes out the window, you get out on the track, and it's just time to race. And sometimes it takes over that smart thinking.
So Hacker just countered with the fastest lap of the race. The 2 machine out leading. He ain't going to give it up. I look what I'm seeing out of Cook, though. Cook's here all alone in second and looking racy. Eschen in third. Johnson, Austin. So Johnson's up 4. I mean, I don't know if these are accurate because of the redraws, so I'll kind of ignore those. But Hoffler in 6th. Al Smith, Shepard, Merton, and Justin McDuff up in the top 10 here. And he's looking for sponsorship. Colin, you got any money?
No, I'm broke.
Fair enough. That wind tunnel TV money is not paying the bills?
Not enough. Not yet. I don't live in Iceland.
Good shot of this track here. Nice local track. Go and support these tracks too, folks. We love our short tracks.
As you see, this is kind of already starting to sing out a little bit as I say that. Dustin Shepard makes a move on of the 96 of Al Smith Jr. We really kind of expect that from Dustin. He loves to be aggressive with this car early. It might hurt his car a little bit on the long run, but he's able to move up so many positions that it doesn't hurt him as much. A lot of these guys, they stay back and they save, and then that gap, it's hard to gain back. You don't really see that much with Dustin because then you have that option of just going ahead and pitting. So Dustin definitely going to be looking to be moving forward.
Yeah, I always like to say, know yourself, right? Dustin sure does. I mean, he's just going to be him. If the car plays it, Jason, where it'll kind of naturally save, so be it. But if not, he's going to go take those first 30, 40 laps and just move forward.
Yeah, Dan, and if you can make gains that way, your net loss at the end of a run, it may benefit you just pushing the car as hard as you can.
So he's gotten through. Hoffler's struggling. You got Martin coming through. There's a 96 Al Smith coming. Here comes McDuff as well. So the freight train fully engaged here.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. You get stuck on the outside and just get shuffled back. These short tracks.
Let's take a look in on Fortin. He is just lingering here at the back. Him and Nichols back here with Keeler. I mean, I think it looks like he's ready to go racing. Nowhere to really go quite yet. I mean, he's up, 1 spot, 2 spots. So Fortin waiting and biding his time. But like I said earlier, he probably thought, I'll take the first 50 laps off. You're on lap 18. He's already gone racing.
Yeah, Dean, I've been watching him since the start of this race, and he made a couple quick positions up, but he's been sitting tight right there behind the 69 car, Randy Nichols, for majority of the beginning of this race.
I mean, his tires are going to be in great shape, though, aren't they, Colin?
Let's hope so. Fighting around some of this traffic does hurt him a little bit because you have to constantly change your lanes. You have to drive the car differently throughout the run. So I bet you he is taking it easy right now. He has that lead in the points that he can fall back off of. He doesn't have to go up there and win this race. He just has to be clean. So he just got to really just stay off of these guys right now, not run into them and save up his stuff just for these longer runs.
You gotta wonder about Jane Janet and Hoffler and Keeler back here. They're just not doing much of anything back there. Very interesting. I think they're playing a little possum. Up front, Hacker leading Cook, Eschen, Johnson, and Austin.
And you're starting to see it now. They're really starting to move up off of that bottom right now. You see Hacker, he's running a whole lane above the bottom. Definitely on that tire saving mode, but you see like a couple of them still on the bottom. Here we go, the 23 of Gary Eschen. Might be trying to look for a move here on the 15 here soon.
Let's hop on board here with Matt Cook, who's running a little further up the track, and we'll look ahead to Hacker as well.
Yeah, those guys are probably benefiting a little bit from that progressive banking on this track, Dean, where you go up a little higher, get a little more of that curvature of the track, able to, not be as rough on your tires.
Yeah, we heard one of the guys talking about that in interviews. It seems like that's a thing. They're using the natural curvature here and just kind of slinging it around. I like what I'm seeing. A lot easier to do when there's no traffic, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Looks like these guys have getting run down from behind there.
Yeah, Eschen's like sort of the same mentality as Shepard, I find. Eschen wants to go. I don't know if he knows how to lay back. Eschen wants to go and go to the front, and he's going to get around Cook right now. Here comes Johnson as well.
Yeah, and I like what Johnson did right there. He really just kind of rode behind the 23 until he made a move so that he could just go ahead and sneak his nose right up underneath of the 15 of Matt Cook. Just just kind of slowly coming up through the field. Not the one that's really initiating all the battling, but just benefiting from it.
And Cook slides back as the freight train has been engaged. Here comes Shepard. He'll look to fill that spot, and it looks like he might.
Like he was almost able to get a spot there in front of Philip Martin, but it closed up really fast on him.
It does. That's the thing. I mean, it looks open, but it's a blink of an eye. You got to move fast out here. Merton moving up now, looking for 6 to take away from Cook. Cook has slid back 4 spots in a few laps here, and he might lose a ton more if he doesn't get down the track.
Looks like there's a gap behind Al Smith Jr. there, but boy, that's going to hurt there for Matt Cook, losing quite a few, almost 8 positions now.
Yeah, unbelievable. A little further back, you got Gable down there. That's Nichols down on the bottom. So Nichols trying to go forward. Now Gable doing a little better job on that high. He pinched him down a little bit and got back in.
Yeah, and Jason, I mean, you're looking at these variety of lanes right now. Some that are running a little bit higher, some running middle of the track, and some on the bottom. Where do you think really is the best area for you to be at right now, especially with you're being 35 laps into the race?
35 laps in the race, I would be of two minds. Either, like we were talking about, I'm going full out, or I saved a little bit of tires in the first 10 or 15, maybe 20 laps, and now I'm just going to go hard and trying to a little bit of a diamond off the corner, save that right front on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose all that gap to the person in front, because you may be saving your tire, but if that gap keeps building in front of you, you're going to waste it all going back. But I completely agree with you.
Nichols and Gable continue their battle, so these guys are racing hard back here. Right in front of Fortin, and I'm telling you, when you're looking for a championship and points are, you just want to hold on what you can get, you hate seeing 2 cars battle in front of you.
Yeah, because you feel hopeless. You can't go nowhere.
Well, there's that, and they could wreck, right?
That too, yeah. Fortin's really got to watch that tonight. You saw it happen to Bryan Hacker last week, where he just he got a little aggressive, just trying to, look for positions, maybe using the high side just a little bit last week at Hickory. And sometimes that greed just turns into a disaster, and then you're set back so far in the race that it's hard to overcome it.
Absolutely correct. Jason McDuff with that no sponsorship. Him and Cook both looking for sponsorship, folks. Get out here. Get these cars sponsored. Doesn't take a whole lot. Heck, you can sponsor my car for a candy bar.
We're sure we just wouldn't eat the candy bar?
Well, I might. I might ask for another. That's a problem.
It's official. Dean is the candy man.
I like it. I'll be the candy man. There's Philip Martin currently riding in 6th position, right behind Shepard. So Shepard's made his move up to 5th here, and he's just kind of sitting in that same spot. We're on lap 43 already, so 200 lap race, Jason. Long race, right? Heck, it's been 5 minutes. We're already like a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, 200 laps may seem like a long time, but it's not when you're only running just a 4/10 of a mile track. Those laps go down quick.
Love this track, though. Nice little home track. Got some nice banking on it. Tough to run. Jan back here. So Fortin still has not really gone too far. He's in 11th. Now this is enough. If he finished right here, and Hacker won this race, I mean, we might have to go to the hand count, you know, like we're going to have one of those elections where someone gets defrauded.
But don't forget about those 5 bonus points you get from winning the race too. And that's a big thing that Brian's really got to look at here. And, you know, also running a clean race also gives you some points too. And that's very important also. And Bryan, you know, he's out front, so he can't really have a lot of people get in his way, you know, make contact with people. So he has a good chance at making this a maximum points night besides the pole position.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's nowhere better to get a 0x than out front where nobody's around you. We see that in leagues. You guys will say, you know, I have the lowest incidence in the league. So yeah, but you got 10 poles. You've been out front the whole time.
But you do have lap traffic you got to navigate sometimes there too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to come in here before too long. I mean, everybody doing a really nice job out here, so it might be a while yet, but before this race is over, yeah, lap traffic going to be a real thing as Nichols comes underneath McDuff here. And again, right in front of Fortin. So Fortin's kind of in that spot where there's action going on, and I think he's ready to go racing here. We're on lap 51 of 200. Look for Fortin to turn that wick up here soon and start coming up through this field.
Well, he's been slowly doing it, Dean, from the beginning of this race. I mean, he started dead last. He's worked himself slowly and methodically up into the 10th position. He's running a smart race right now at this point of the race.
Well, I mean, if it's one thing we'd say about him, he's been very smart all season. He hasn't put his car in jeopardy. He's gotten a few, but they're not of his doing. He's even been taken out from the lead a couple of times. So, and he doesn't react. That's what I love, right? That's a champion, you know. He's just going to come out and keep battling and say, that's racing. We'll come back next week. He does. Oh, and right in front of him, Nichols loose.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you don't want to see right now. You know, he lost time, and now he even got the 91 of Adam Gable to his inside now. I should file back out, but he lost time right there to the car in front of the 8, which is Alex Smith Jr. So all it's doing is just building that gap more and more. But you also don't want to see them wreck in front of you, because that can end your race before it even started.
Yeah, it's another spot, though, as far as I can tell. Fortin up in the top 10 now. So Hacker's got a point for leading the lap. He may get one for leading the most laps, you know, and he's also going to try and get that clean driver and the win. I mean, right now, if the flag was to drop, I think Hacker's probably your champion.
But you also have to put in the fact that Guillaume has had a clean race too, so that cancels out those points at the same time. It's just if Guillaume stays clean throughout the rest of the race also.
That's a great point, and that's where I'm going to have to bring out the abacus, the Canadian abacus, to do a little calculating here tonight. I got one down by my feet here. I like to push those beans around.
Well, right now, it's a point per position. So Guillaume's in 10th, Hacker's in 1st. So there's a 10-point difference that Bryan has gained right there. So it's going to be really tight.
It's super tight. I mean, and Fortin has got to remain clean here. So if he gets a 1x, so those who don't know, a minor incident, iRacing will give you X, like a points. So a minor incident, you might get 1 or 2. Major incident, you're going to get 4. If he gets between 1 and 4, he'll still get 2 points. Anything over that, he's going to get none. If he gets 0, he'll get 5 bonus points. So 0 mandatory for Hacker, and awfully good for Fortin if he can do it, who just moved up to 9th, and he's looking to move up to 8th right here, right quick.
Yeah, we're getting right there, right around lap 65. You know, 60 tires on these tires. So some of these guys that we're saving, it's about go time for them. If I had to guess, they're going to be coming and getting tires around lap 100 to about 125. So they're going to be using what they have left in these tires before they come in and pit.
Well, and the other thing is, Jason, we've been green flag here. I mean, we're looking at green flag stops, dare I say it?
Could be, Dean, and that's going to open up a big can of worms on what strategy You just got to go as long as possible and just see what happens.
Well, and also, who practiced it, right?
Yeah, right. You get over 100-something laps on those tires, things could get really dicey.
And this is one of the hardest pit roads to get off of because of the banking difference. You go from 17 degrees to 0. You can lose that rear and spin that thing out, or just overcook it going into pit road. And trust me, there is a water barrel waiting for you. I've hit it one too many times in my life.
Well, I can't wait to see him now. I'm a little excited here thinking about it. Hopefully we don't hex him, but it's got a real green flag feel to it so far. Everybody in rhythm on that low side. Fortin now up to 7th. So the 13 methodically coming through this field. He keeps waiting for these openings and then pouncing, doing a great job. But out front, Hacker is absolutely set sail. You see the distance. I mean, he is a full corner ahead of the field.
He's built up 3.5-second gap there on second place, Gary Eschen. And he's just knocking him down. This is what he wants to do. And it's the only thing he can do, doing everything he can to try and win the championship.
Doing a great job.
And that's really what that clean air does. That clean air also makes your tire wear not as bad as a lot of these guys. 23, he was behind the 15 of Matt Cook for a couple of laps, so his tires probably overheated a little bit just trying to run him down. While Bryan, he hasn't had to pass nobody, and so his tires really haven't overheated yet, hasn't really had to cool them back down. So all this is doing is benefiting Bryan, and that's the reason why you see this gap still gaining. It was just 2.5 3 laps ago. It's already at 2.7.
We got Baron Labosco out in the chat. Good to see you, Baron. And he's got a hot take for everybody. Hold your seats, folks. He's predicting Bryan Hacker wins.
Bold prediction. He must be in that Jack Daniels already.
Yeah, he must be in the JD, no doubt about it. Hacker only a 3-second lead right now. So, going out on a limb, Mr. Baron Labosco. Bryan will appreciate it, though. There's a little bromance brewing between Baron and Bryan.
I hope he's watching if he'll see that Guillaume has moved up into the P5 position right now.
He has, and here comes Johnson looking for second. Looks like Eschen looking to give it to him and just fall in. Maybe not. He comes back on the high side. I thought he was looking to get in. And Shepard's up to 4th, so Shepard not burning him up yet.
Yeah, and you saw Gary honestly miss the corner and went into. He really got up into that messy stuff.
And we're wrecking. Mertens around. Caution on the track. We're going to have pit stops.
It's exactly what Guillaume needed and wanted, I'm sure.
Yeah, Guillaume comes from the back to 5th, and the caution promptly comes out as if he threw it himself. Here we go. Philip Martin coming into the corner. Smith behind, and he gets into Austin. Smith gets into him, and that's your chain reaction turnaround.
It's just tough at a track like this. Everything happens so fast in front of you.
So we got a couple of things going on now. The choose rule come into play. Pit stops are going to come into play. What does Hacker do? What does the rest of the field do? Right now, nobody pitting.
I think you're going to see a couple of them gamble with a pit stop. A lot of them probably don't think they can make probably 120 laps on a new set of tires. So you might see a couple of them just be like, okay, it ran green. It can run green for the rest of the time, and if I get that tire advantage, I can win this race, or just have a good enough advantage to where you can finish in the top 3. So you're going to see probably maybe 1 or 2, maybe possibly pit. I think we see Mark Keeler coming in here.
I'd be pitting. I'm not seeing any takers, though.
Yep.
Or Keeler did come in, you're right. So I might have had the entrance in the wrong spot there. Keeler comes on to pit road. He's the only taker.
Interesting. I really thought a couple of them would gamble for it because this is a green flag. But cautions bring you cautions.
You run in these races a lot, and early pit stops pay off at these things, don't they?
It really just depends on how the rest of the race goes. If you're just trying to get gas, yes. But if you're getting tires, no. Because if you get at late race caution, you are a sitting duck, and it is a big risk to take, especially at the end of the race.
All right. Well, let's see what happens here with the choose. Nobody pitting.
Hang on, we're not going green.
Pretty standard stuff. Guillaume to the bottom. Bunch of guys going to the bottom here later. Cook's gonna come around, and Cook he fell a lot from second, but he's gonna pick up a few here on the choose rule.
Leader Hacker took the outside here, hoping for that big run through turn 1 and 2, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I like that call on the restart. You get up here, get that thing wound up, but I don't know. Johnson, awful crafty down on the inside now.
Caution lights are off on the pace car here.
Yes, sir. All dimmed out. We're ready to go racing here in the SoNatty Showdown. It's championship night. Hacker, great launch. He's gone. Eschen trying to launch on the high side with him. They go side by side behind Hacker. Fortin looking to take third away from Eschen right now. So Fortin already into third position. If he can stay clean, that's a championship spot, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Guillaume's going to fight for this third position pretty hard right here, because that is going to be a big deal for him if he does get this pass done. The 23 of Gary Eschen, you know, he's kind of slowed down these past couple laps. I'm guessing he wore out his stuff a little bit as you see Guillaume start gaining on him on those straightaways, which you don't really expect to see, especially with this high side, you know, carrying the momentum. But as you see, Guillaume just completely cleared him back.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Gary had looked like the end of that long run. Gary had run his tires pretty hard.
Nichols is 69, a favorite of Mr. Labosco in the chat. Up on the high side, he's got Al Smith down low.
And just like that, we're almost all single file right here, so you can tell this track is really just, well, these tires have really just gone away. Oh, we got a little bit of bumping and baby.
Oh, and they're wrecking back here. Big pile up. None of our leaders involved, but caution will bring out another pitting opportunity here.
And it's like I said earlier, cautions breed cautions, so.
Massive parking lot style wreck here. We look at Gable in the 91. Up in front of him, Smith gets into Nichols. That checks up the 8 of McDuff, and bam, they just wreck on each other. Nothing too major, even though it looked pretty bad.
I really think Gable right there was honestly checking up because he saw the contact in front of him, and then it was just one of those chain reaction things. People couldn't react just in time, so a little bit of unfortunate, a little bit of a racing incident.
All right, race control, Colin J has called a racing incident here tonight.
Still no takers on pit road. Maybe this time by?
I mean, I'm finding it a little mind-blowing, but one set of tires, guys are thinking a little later, apparently.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Thought we'd at least see 1 or 2 takers this time.
Yeah, if I'm running out of the top 10, I'm definitely coming in and get some tires and see if I can do anything with it.
Or at least fuel so that they can make it to the end, instead of some of these guys that can't.
Well, maybe they can.
They might be able to. I'm not sure. I think it is 22 gallons. I'm not 100% sure how far.
Well, there's
about 160 laps, so I feel like they do need fuel here.
There's a benefit to fuel, too. It'll loosen that car up.
Let's see the choose rule going down here. Looks like someone stopped on, that was Philip Martin kind of stopping on the track. I don't know if he was trying to decide where to go or not.
He was counting sheep.
He may have been. So Hacker and Johnson up front. It's Fortin and Eschen in row 2. Austin and Shepard in row 3. Nichols and Huntington in row 4.
We saw a monster jump come out of Bryan Hacker this last time. See if he can't do it again.
Janin back there. He's made some progress. Another great jump. Not quite as large.
Ryan Johnson got a good jump right there and really didn't even give Gary Eschen a shot to get on his outside there.
He didn't, and he almost got underneath the Hacker. Hacker's got to be careful. Johnson, very good on the long run. Fortin fighting with Eschen here. He's got to be careful also for his life. Austin gets up beside Shepard, so Shepard's hung up on the high side. Austin gets a little loose. And those boys are beating on each other just a little bit back here. Nichols in there saying, I'll go 3 wide if you'll open it up for me.
And Hacker this time really has not built that gap off the second pace. Seems like his car might be handling a little bit worse than we thought it was going to be.
Well, some of these guys, I'm telling you, Johnson really good on the long run, so the cautions have played in his favor, in my opinion.
Justin moved up on pit road.
So this is kind of getting settled out up front. It's still Hacker, Johnson, Fortin. Looks like Nichols is in the wall. So that's going to bring out another caution as we cross the halfway mark. It's Randy Nichols in the 69 machine. You see here, Shepard up in front of him, Smith behind. It's off the corner, all looks well. And bam, that's a wheel disconnect right there. That is a problem for the 69 and Nichols. That's a home problem, a wheel problem. I mean, maybe his girlfriend jumped on his lap. I'm not sure, folks. Shepard is in.
First take of her tires. And, you know, we kind of expect that from Dustin. You know, he's one of those ones that loves to wear out those right sides early, so I like this. I like this from Dustin. He might honestly pull a good little string right here, especially if it runs green the rest of the time. He's gonna be sitting pretty right now.
Well, the thing is, he won't have to pit again. So from the looks, we got some others. Cook, Gable, Jan Janin, and Keeler are all in, and that doesn't look appropriate there.
Did he pit too early? Maybe.
He might have pitted too early. I'm not sure. That'll be an end of the longest line penalty for him, which is not that big a penalty.
But you're right, Dano's, you know, having them fresh tires, not a lot of guys pitted. He'll gain all that track position back, and you know, get ahead of those guys, and it might benefit from. Although it looks like he pulled back in pits again.
I mean, right now you got to be thinking. So Shepard goes back in. So does Martin. You know, you got to think there's going to be more cautions now, right? Once you stack them up like this and you're past the halfway mark, it'll start to happen over and over again. Generally speaking, it's not a given. You see the chews going on. So this is going to be interesting because it's a whole different style of race now. And now you really got to think, like, it's advantage. Shepard, Martin, you know, Keeler, Jan and Cook, these guys who pitted. I'll bring up the pit board just to double check here. Looks like Gable also pitted on 103, so watch out for Gable.
So we're going to have fresh tires restarting in P10 with Matt Cook. Is that what it looks like, Dave?
Yeah, I think Gable or Cook. Yeah, Cook. And then Jan and Gable, Shepard, Martin, Keeler, all on 103.
I want to confirm they can go all the way to the end without pitting for gas.
All right. So confirmed. These guys don't intend to pit at all. So tires is going to be your only advantage. Who gets it? Who puts in the right amount of fuel or maybe no fuel? And how does that car handle? We'll find out. We look back at some of these guys who did come in and pit. They're not advancing at this point. I mean, Hoffler maybe. Huntoon fighting with Hoffler right now. Looks like Eschen's gotten underneath to Fortin. So Fortin being put under some heat. He's going to fight hard for that spot, and he's going to keep it.
Maybe that 23 Gary Eschen's car woke back up again and started running pretty decent lap times there. I mean, he was able to hold it up with Guillaume that time, so expect maybe Gary just to wake up a little bit here.
Well, I mean, like Al Smith and Bergener, and behind him, they're wrecking. And that's Gable, so that's one contender perhaps down.
Right, trailer.
Yeah, he's going looking for the hot dog girls.
Or the medical center.
Could be. Nobody out there. No way out. He's trapped.
You just follow the pace car.
It's the old maze. You get in the maze and never let you out. So as expected, though, I mean, this is what happens when you stack them up. So this is going to be super interesting. It's going to get more and more heated. And the question's going to be who survives. Fortin and Hacker, one of them could go down. And if they do, it may be the end of the championship.
And I want to point out that, you know, these tires have cooled down drastically from this long run. And so a lot of these cars, or a lot of these drivers are still trying to figure out how to handle them. With that different tire temperature, sometimes it honestly it makes it feel like a car actually has a little bit more grip and it's not sliding around as much. So it might be benefiting like the 38 of Ryan Johnson. That's the reason why we've seen him been able to fight off Bryan Hacker a little bit here. So maybe this is Guillaume's shot to get up and try to take the lead from Bryan.
Yeah, heat cycles, right? We all know from our racing experience that you get a couple heat cycles in them tires, they kind of harden up a little bit and kind of level out.
All right, tonight's Choose Rule brought to you by Jack Daniels, courtesy of Baron Labosco. They kind of look a little drunk as they pick here.
Makes the decision better.
So up front, Hacker, Johnson, Eschen, Fortin, Austin, and Smith. Bergner now up into 7th, Shepard in 8th. You got Martin and Hoffler in the top 10. Jan and Cook, Gable, Keeler, all there. Huntoon on pit road. He's going to beat the pace car off, so he'll be in good shape here. Nichols, McDuff, and Leveridge all laps down. McDuff is out. Leveridge is out, I do believe. And I think Nichols is out as well. Here we go. Green flag racing one more time. Hacker, another good launch. He continues to launch off the high side. Eschen trying to get around Fortin again, and this time he's going to go up and challenge Tiny Horse Johnson. Johnson going to beat him through the corner, though.
Once again, the 23 Gary Eschen on the outside of 410, starting to honestly fight him off a little bit. And it's exactly like Jason Martin said, maybe his tires have hardened a little bit and he's got a little bit more life in him.
Behind him. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm just saying, it's that heat cycle thing, man. Sometimes it really works to your advantage. And you're able to extend the life of them tires with them getting hot and cold a few times.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, cooling them down is only going to help these guys on old tires here. Austin underneath Eschen. So Eschen running hard, but stuck on the high side. Bergner there. His machine's got a little damage on it, but he's still running strong. And behind him, Shepard and Smith.
I'm really surprised that Dustin Shepard there in 7th place is the first car on fresh tires. He's taking it easy and getting through traffic, but he doesn't look to have a huge advantage that I would think he would.
Yeah, it's just not. I mean, Colin, you run these things a lot. I mean, the tires, you just don't get the advantage you're hoping for, do you?
Yeah, no, not really. And it's one thing is really just not being able to pass. These cars are very hard to pass. They're a little bit lower on power, so it's hard to get underneath somebody. And then sometimes when you're on that inside, you kind of get a little bit aero tight, so it's hard to really just pull it under them.
Like if you were up front and had fresh tires, you might just set sail, wouldn't you, Colin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just a little bit of dirty air. You kind of see it with these cars. It's different from what we're used to. So, but yeah, it's one of those things of just getting aero tight, and it's not an easy thing to do.
Bergner underneath Austin. Austin stuck up there on that high side. Up front, Hacker still leading wire to wire for the 2 machine. doing everything he can, fighting for this championship. Johnson in second, Fortin sitting here in that rocking chair all alone. I love it. At the pocket, as Barron would like to call it.
Now we're seeing Dustin Shepard make a little bit more hay with these new tires.
Now, how do you make hay, Colin?
You grow it.
Fair enough. So I might stump you there with the making of the hay.
You need
Good
water,
reason. Austin going to fall all the way back. The freight train was engaged. He kind of gave up and said, just let me get to the back of this thing. Back up front, Johnson. Let's hop on board with Ryan Johnson, see what we can find out here. Jason, you look in on this. What do you see here?
Well, I see him struggling right there behind Bryan, trying to get to his bumper, not quite able to there. Looks like a little aero push probably going on for him there. He's trying to keep that left headlight out, poked under him in that fresh air, trying to keep that front planted.
Well, you see it. He gains on the entry, but really just kind of loses it on the exit. And that's really just a result from him running that bottom compared to Bryan running a little bit higher. So maybe Johnson really just kind of looking for a little bit of a mistake here from the leader of Bryan Hacker, which is going to be hard. He doesn't make that many mistakes.
So I'm seeing something different here from Fortin, Colin. Maybe you can talk on this. You see, he enters the corner, he turns left, and then he immediately straightens the wheel back out.
He's trying to save those right sides, really mainly that right rear, because it seems like maybe some of these cars are getting a little bit looser. But the best way to put it is with the little, when you make less movements in the steering wheel, your tires wear less. So Guillaume really just kind of making the best of his situation right now, really just babying the car right now while these two fight it out so that he has that advantage later on.
It's very interesting to watch. He turns left, straightens it out momentarily, and goes back to turning left. You got to think he's really throwing it in there with a low brake bias, don't you, Jason?
Yeah, he just throwing that car back on that right rear and having to counter steer just a little bit on the entrance of the corner to keep it from going around. That's what it looks like to me. Just forcing that car around on that right rear to save that right front. The weight transfer.
Yeah, definitely weight transfer thing going on there, and that's something you'll see a lot of guys flick the car to the right on the entrance when you got to turn left, just to kind of throw that weight to the outside before they dive down to the inside.
Randy Nichols on pit road.
Nichols, wow, so not good news for the 69 here. I think he was already having a bit of a rough night, though, so Nichols could be a retiree there. It's not bad. Head down to Florida. I think my jokes are falling flat tonight, folks. We got Hacker and Johnson out front here. Johnson staying with them, but Hacker doing everything he can. And Fortin continues to sit in the pocket. Nobody right there in front of him, nobody right there behind him. He's loving life here in third.
Oh, yeah,
looking back at Dustin Shepard here now, you know, he's got just beneath Jeff Bergener. You know, he's the first guy on new tires, so making a look, well, as growing some hay. Got it right this time. But he's slowly starting to eat away at this lead, and you know he hasn't really dropped that much of a gap, so he's gonna have the tire advantage to really go up and try to battle with these guys. And the tires are completely different. You know, he's on 40 lap old tires while they're on 140 lap old tires, so Dustin definitely is favorable right now.
Now, gas-wise, Colin, now, if he took no gas, fine, but I mean, new tires on one side of the car might change the feeling. If he put too much gas in, he might be heavier than Bergener. Talk a little bit about that.
I really think Dustin actually came in and got a little bit of fuel, not a lot. Sometimes, honestly, I kind of like the way a little bit more gas in the tank feels. It kind of almost sets the rear in my opinion a little bit. Maybe it's just a little bit the way I work my brake bias, but it really sets the rear. It doesn't really kick out as much as I'm used to because it gets so light back there that it wants to kick around. So when you add a little bit of weight to it, it really kind of plants it a little bit. So maybe that's exactly what Dustin Shepard was doing here.
Well, I think that's very accurate, especially when you look at where your ballast is at, how far forward or back. That counterweight of the gas can have a dramatic effect. There's no doubt about that. Hacker's starting to open it up, and we see this out of him. We talk a lot tonight about Johnson's long run ability, but I'm telling you, Hacker and Fortin, they got the best long run ability. Fortin looking to make a move for second now.
And that's exactly what Bryan wants to see in his rearview mirror. He wants to see them two battling so he can build that gap and make it even more hard for them to pass him.
So Fortin, he's going to take this spot. Johnson going to let him go. He's going to solidify third there in front of Shepard, but Fortin now in second. My goodness. Is he going to come up here and try and steal this win away from Hacker? Take all the thunder away from him?
That's entirely possible, and it's not what Bryan Hacker wanted to see tonight. He did not want to see Guillaume Fortin in his rearview mirror at all.
Well, you know, I'll make jokes and stuff, but these guys are going to race clean, but at least now, I mean, I was thinking he could brake check him and maybe take him out.
Yeah, he could do that. Might ruin his own night, though, too.
Well, I wouldn't. They're not going to do that, folks. They don't race like that here. But I'll tell you what, if Fortin gets up here, he will race him. He's not going to hold back. Race car drivers do not hold back. It's not in them.
Yeah, no doubt. And I also want to look at the third place driver right now, Dustin Shepard. Now moving up to third, and he's actually lapping about a tenth faster than Guillaume right here. So, and the leader of Bryan Hacker. So, within a couple laps, I think you'll see, honestly, Dustin try to go for a look on Guillaume. I'm just hoping he hasn't wore all of his stuff out just yet, because this is around the time that those tires really start to fall off and it's hard to drive.
Well, we talked about it pre-race, right? This is Shepard. He got tires. Nobody else did. He knows he's going to burn them off, but they're fresher. I mean, this might be his night. The 89 looking good. Martin right behind him. And they're all running down Bryan Hacker. So Hacker coming back to the pack. We got ourselves a race coming down to 40 to go in the SoNatty Showdown on championship night.
And if you look ahead a little bit for Bryan Hacker, you can see the start of a little bit of lap traffic, and that's going to play a little bit of a role. Even though they will move out the way, it hurts exits, it hurts entries, and that all that is just time loss and time gain for the guys behind them. So it's going to be still beneficial here. This track is hard to really catch lap traffic at a good area.
Well, and that's opportunity for second, third, and fourth. They see a lap car. They're going, wherever he is, we're going to try and fill a gap, fill a hole. But Hoffler way up out of the way here. Going to hurt Fortin on exit just slightly here. But nothing doing. Nothing to be gained for the guys second, third, and fourth here right now.
And it looks like these new tires are paying off for these guys.
Robbie Clavey out on Facebook. Robbie, we love you. Love to see you on the track. But you're absolutely right. Fortin is in championship position, and he's looking for the race lead right now. Fortin down on the inside says, and he's going to use that pick of the 96. Al Smith doesn't quite work. Hacker continues to battle. He has to, no choice. Fortin to the lead. Crossover here. Hacker going to try. He's got a bumper on him. Whoa! Almost. And more contact. Shepard sideways. Fortin holds on to it. Guillaume Fortin. Unbelievable. To the lead he goes. Now that I love to see. Hard racing. Ain't nobody wrecked, but hard racing.
Boy, Bryan did all he could to try and get Guillaume out of that position there after he took it, but it just doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything about it. And he's got fresh tires coming up right behind him now.
Well, Robbie out in the chat there, he's got to be loving this, seeing his league perform like this. Fortin and Hacker, two great ambassadors to the league. You got Shepard and Martin right there looking to come in and pounce, and we're coming down to 30 to go.
Yeah, now you got the 89 of Dustin Shepard all over the back bumper of Bryan Hacker as he looked to the inside. But we see another battle right here, the 91 of Adam Gable and Jeff Bergener for 5th right now. I think Adam Gable has been spun out multiple times this race and still in the top 5.
He is, and I wanted to highlight that, but you were right. Shepard got underneath Hacker, so did Martin. So the 2nd and 3rd now, Shepard and Martin. And can it be Shepard's night? My goodness. Back to this other battle. You got Gable, like you said. What a rough night he's had. But he comes back sitting in 5th. We said he can race with the best of them, and he is. Cook right there along with Bergner. And then it's Huntoon, Janin. And we got Ryan Johnson that slid back to 10th. My goodness. Ryan, not his night here tonight. Hoffler come on to pit road. He's just coming back out. So Fortin, your race leader, with Shepard chasing. Let's hop on board with Philip Martin and see what it looks like.
Yeah, and Philip's really just been kind of sitting behind the 89 Dustin Shepard, just kind of playing off of Dustin Shepard's picks. So be looking at Philip Martin trying to make a move on Dustin Shepard if he takes the lead.
I mean,
yeah, you can see how hard he's trying to drive that car too, trying to get every ounce of those fresher tires out of that. He's got to put a lot of wheel in it. You know, the revs are up. You know, he's just pushing as hard as he can right now, it looks like.
Oh, Shepard's going for it. I mean, I don't think he has any intention of touching Fortin, but he is still going to show him, I'm faster and I want this one. I need this win. So, but Fortin, good race car driver, will not give it away. He's going to have to earn it. Martin's sitting here in the catbird seat.
I was about to say, and Guillaume is honestly one of the hardest cars to pass in this field. He does not make it easy on absolutely anybody to even get a nose up under him, and if that, just not to battle it off. So
well, you say it, he does it. Shepard gets a nose under him. It's Dustin Shepard looking for the race lead here with 23 to go. Martin goes down low. He looks to come through and get 2nd away from Fortin. Both of them go through. Fortin falls to 3rd. Holy smokes!
Us commentators are always wrong.
Dustin Shepard, your new race leader. How about that? Fortin is now in 3rd, and Hacker back in 4th. Gable's caught him, so Hacker's car has gone away on him, and Gable coming on through here. He's going to roll on through and take that spot. That'll put Hacker back to 5th, and that is trouble. Where he is going to need a caution and a ton of help because Fortin still in 3rd position now.
Well, that race between Philip Martin and Dustin Shepard, that's a race that has some validity in point standing. Those two are going to be fighting it out for 5th place finish overall standings, Gene.
Yeah, we looked quickly in on it. 395 for Martin. Gable's at 402, and he got Shepard is at 366. So there are points to be had, positions to be had. Johnson hits pit road. Bergner on pit road. What's going on? 18 to go. Wow, maybe they can't all make it. Could we have late race drama here?
I don't think the tires can make it. I think a lot of these guys are actually getting the meatball flag because they blew a tire. It's hard to go 200 laps on a set of tires here. It's such a physical track on these tires. It eats away at them. So you might honestly see Guillaume or Bryan both lose it. Blow a tire here and have to come in and pit. And honestly, if Bryan Hacker's thinking that, maybe that's the reason why he backed off, and he's hoping that Guillaume is gonna have that meatball flag and have to come in. So it might honestly be a good play from Bryan if that's what he's thinking.
I mean, I don't know at this point. It's getting a little nutty. Guys, 14 to go. I think you're right about the meatball. That's probably the case. There's Gable in 4th. Huntoon's up to 5th. Get Cook back in 6th. Looks 3 wide back here. My goodness. Tiny Horse Johnson down the bottom. Hacker's involved. 13 laps to go. Fortin in the spot for the championship right now. Hacker has led a bunch. He's still got that clean car, 5 points. He probably got an extra point for leading the most, but he is going to need something awful to happen to Fortin if he's going to come away with a championship here tonight. Up front, Shepard and Martin still slugging it out. You know, we talked a lot about Shepard, but how about Philip Martin? I mean, as the season went on, we watched him grab a win. We watched him out here compete week in and week out near the front. He's doing it again here tonight, Jason.
Yeah, Dean, and he has run quite a smart race here and done a great job tonight. I think he was involved in a caution earlier. He's been back to front, and here he is sitting up P2, hanging right with Dustin Shepard.
He's got fresh tires coming through, so Bergner will come on through. The Silver Surfer makes his way past, and he's going to go up now and try and take on Shepard. We'll see if this has any effect on Shepard. Shepard going to have to stay high, and yeah, it's going to have a little effect here. I think Martin will close up a little bit. And you see there on entry, a little checkup, Martin right back to the bumper. 7 to go.
Yeah, laps are winding down fast. He's doesn't have much time to make any kind of moves now.
Yeah, so we got to close that gap.
He's closed it. I mean, as you say it, I think you got some special speech abilities, Colin. You say it, they do it. So he closes right in there, and immediately Shepard puts the foot down and separates himself one more time. So Shepard not to be denied so far, coming down to 5 to go. Fortin sitting in third. He's all alone. He's back in that spot again. Nobody around him, and he's just milking that thing home. Gable in fourth, Huntoon, Cook. Hacker has fallen all the way back to ninth, so Hacker in desperate trouble.
Way off the pace, too.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to save their tire. I think you're right. They're on the verge of a meatball, and they cannot run that machine hard whatsoever. But up front, Dustin Shepard, 3 to go. Can he grab the win in the SoNatty Showdown here on championship night? Philip Martin trying to have something to say about it. Lunges in, just edging in a little closer.
Yeah, he's got also a lap car. I think it's Bryan Hacker right there.
Wow.
Possibly.
And there goes Martin. He gets possession. Philip Martin down to the inside. We're on 2 to go. He's coming down to the white flag. Shepard takes the white flag. Martin falls in behind. He's got one more corner left. Dustin Shepard down into 3. Martin, is he going to send it? He sends pretty hard, but not hard enough. Dustin Shepard, your winner in the SoNatty Showdown. Philip Martin will come second. 14 will win the championship with a great run. The 13 finish in third. It's Gable in fourth. Huntoon, Janjanin, Cook, Keeler, and Hacker in ninth. Austin, your top 10. But hey, how about Dustin Shepard here taking this victory?
Yeah, what a great finish there. Philip Martin gave it all he had. Wasn't able to make it happen, but he was there, and I'm sure Shepard had a mirror full the whole time.
What a way to finish it here. Drama. I mean, Hacker led the majority of the race, but there was no tire left on that machine. The pit stop paid off for Shepard. I got to think Martin had a pit stop as well, which paid off a little bit. And these two come out first and second. Fortin, your champion. I mean, you can't be happier, can you, Colin? You run a league. You got these guys out here. They run one of the better races. Very clean here tonight. A little late drama in the race as well.
Yeah, and you know, it wasn't like a big caution fest. The thing was about like 3 or 4 cautions right there, just right there in the middle of the race. And you know, that's what really spiced up the race. You know, you had a couple people go for a different strategy, and that's what ended up paying off for Dustin. But I mean, what else can you ask for out of a league race? I mean, you had a little bit of strategy. You had some guys saving, some guys just going full out all the way, just like Dustin does. And you know, that's the reason why Dustin really was so good tonight, was because he just was one of the ones that didn't care about the tire wear and just went for it. So it's great to see something out of a league like this, and a lot of respect between these drivers.
Yeah, awesome job as he burns them down there. Got the handbrake engaged too, so Shepard really burning them down. He's saying, "Look at all the tire I got, boys." Can we head to commercial here? All right, back here. I guess we're in Dustin Shepard's garage looking around right now. Check out that, folks. But Shepard, what a night for him. I mean, Jason, great night for championship night, and nobody did anything stupid, which you love to see. And there was a lot of people doing a lot of smart things out here.
It sure was, Dane. Dustin went in there, got those new tires, and took full advantage of it. Drove up from about 10th position all the way up to the lead and put on an impressive finish.
Certainly did. A lot of guys going a lap down late because of the tire situation. No doubt that was a struggle. It's Shepard, then Martin, Fortin, Gable, Huntoon, Janjanin, and Cook, as long with Keeler, ended up on the lead lap. Hacker falls a lap down along with Austin, Bergner. Then you got Eschen, Smith, Hoffler, Nichols, McDuff, Loveridge, and Williams. I don't believe he raced here tonight, but perhaps getting warmed up for next season. We can't wait to get into that. Final thoughts here, Colin, before we get into interviews?
Well, I just wanted to cap off a little bit. With this whole season, this season has been great. You know, it's been great seeing someone actually take a battle to Bryan Hacker. You know, we saw it last year. Bryan Hacker, he was good throughout. He was so consistent throughout the whole season, and to see somebody, you know, come up out of nowhere and really just take the fight to him. And even then, you know, he was in a deficit for a while, and then he slowly started eating away at that lead. It's just so great to see stuff like that. Overall, a great season from all these guys, and I'm so excited for next season.
Yeah, I mean, amazing job, amazing season. And what we have right now is an amazing champion. Guillaume Fortin coming home with a championship. How about that, man? You must be ecstatic.
Oh yeah, thank you, Dean. It's amazing to come here and on my first full season to come out of with the championship. I mean, with the last few races, accurate, a lot of bad luck, and I kind of had good luck and won some race. So I'm happy with the end of the season, and overall, all the results I had this year are fantastic, and I think I did a pretty good job throughout the year.
You absolutely you did, and you're absolutely right about the luck. But the luck, you know, it's not nothing to be guilty about because you had lots of bad luck. You just had the good luck come in at the right time. You rode that string, and here tonight it looked like, you know what, you're being very patient, methodical, right? Working your way when opportunity came. You picked up a spot here and there, and then at the end you thought, you know what? Why don't I just go win this thing? And tell us a little bit about that part of the race.
Well, yeah, when I saw Hacker kind of fall off, I told to myself that I was done too, because I think we were like the last two guys up front with no tires. So I just kind of BB the car a lot and just went down on my lap time for about like 2/10 of a lap and just tried to save the right front. I ended up with like 23% of the right front after the race, so it's amazing that I didn't run out. But I saved a lot during the first half of the race behind Randy. He kind of made his way through and I just follow him, so that made it easy for me.
Yeah, it might have been a blessing to start back there and kind of just ease around the track for a little bit and save a little bit. The way the race played out, good race, a lot of green flag racing here. So tell us a little bit about your season, and well, maybe more so. Let's look forward. Are we going to run an off season here? We going to see Fortin in well, let's say the street stocks?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it, but I don't know when it starts. But if it's during the summer, I might be part time because we have real world racing up here, so I need to work on the car and everything. But hopefully I'll be back and I'll try to get some win under street stock. But I think it's Dante Curtis' car, so he's gonna be fast.
Well, we've seen a couple of pictures of your real race shop there. I certainly wish you the best over there, but we couldn't be thrilled to have you as the champion. I think the league is thrilled. You know, we always like to have a great representative. You've held your cool through much adversity during the year here, always delivered yourself with full class. I appreciate that. I know the league does too. So, congratulations, man, on this hard fought championship. And we'll give you the floor here for all the people you'd like to shout out.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I really have to thank my sponsor, Gestion LPG. They're doing all kind of workstation and pit box for racing, and they hooked us up with a beautiful pit box. So hit them up if you need anything. They're serving like the northeast of U.S. and also until like I think Ontario or something like that. So if you need anything and you're in that radius, hit them up. And also, I'd like to congratulate Bryan and everybody in the league for the awesome season. It's been fun to race and it's been fairly clean for the whole year, so it's been fun. And also you guys for putting up this awesome show every week.
All right, man. Jason, that was Guillaume Fortin, winner here of the championship. He did all he can, even backed it down a little bit at the end to solidify that championship. What a class act he is.
He sure is. Dean, he had a great run, a great season. Raced very smart, very championship-like tonight, and that's what it got him, the championship.
Yeah, it certainly did. Right now, I believe you're down there with second place.
I am, Dean. I got Philip Martin up here in the number 46. Had a heck of a run. Philip, you got tires? What was your strategy? Was that planned? And tell us how you got to the front from there.
Yeah, we just me and Dustin bolted on tires, but at the same time, really, as soon as I got back on the lead lap, and I was just hoping, honestly, I was just hoping for some track position, and then, then the laps just start clicking off. I said, all right, well, we got to save something here, so we just kind of kept trying to hit at lap time without getting too crazy and picking them off when we could, and before you knew it, we were 40 to go.
Yeah, I mean that move really paid off for you and Dustin there. We watched you guys meticulously move through the field. It took you all some time for sure. I'm sure it's difficult to pass out there, but those last few laps, I mean, you were right there with 3 to go. You got underneath Dustin there, and you almost had him. What do you think was the difference in that moment?
He was just a little better. I think he maybe saved a little better through that run, just rolling through the middle better than me. So I tried. I got back to his bumper, but that was about all I had.
Well, Philip, it was impressive to watch. Had a great season. You should have moved up in the points. You may have finished 4th overall in the season. Congratulations. It was an outstanding run tonight. It's been a great freaking season for you. Anybody you'd like to thank, sponsors you'd like to shout out to, family, friends?
I definitely got to thank you guys for coming on board and all the hard work you guys have put in, and all the help we've gotten from you. All the other admins, Dustin, Jesse, Robbie, everybody puts in a lot of work to put this thing on. Congratulations to G. I believe he's champion of this deal tonight, so that's pretty big for him. He had a heck of a season. I don't know, that's like Dante Curtis almost. So he definitely had a good one. Thankful for all the drivers coming out supporting us all season long, and look forward to kicking it back off in July, August for some recruitment races and before we go street stock racing.
Well, good deal, Philip. Congratulations on a great run. Congratulations on a great season. Dean?
Yes, sir. That's Philip Burton in second. We're very happy to be see Philip up there, and of course be part of this great league. And Colin, I believe you're sitting down there with someone with a very big smile on his face.
Yes.
Yes, sir, I am. I am here with the winner of the SoNatty Showdown Championship night, Dustin. Congratulations on the first one of the season, man. How do you feel?
I felt like it was not going to happen this year. So it's a big relief to win. I said, all the guys in this league are so good. Like, you got guys that can save tires and carry pace. Like, we have a great group, and it's hard to win. If you don't play it right, you're not going to win.
And I like what you kind of just said right there. You know, a lot of these guys can save tires, and we know you. You're not the one of those ones that loves to save tires. You love to get at it and go. You know,
Yes.
You are one of those ones that loves to just wear off that right front a little bit. You know, just stay aggressive. So you know, after that 100 lap run, I mean, was the tires looking bad? Is that the reason why you pulled it in, or you just knew that was just going to be your strategy for the night?
That was kind of my strategy. I was like, I thought people would have pitted like around lap 80. I was like, nobody's pitting, so I didn't pit. And then I think lap 113. I was talking to Phil, my team, and I was like, I'm pitting. I don't care what happens. It gives us a shot because they're either going to run out of tire or they're going to pit. We're going to have another caution a little bit later, and they're going to pit, and hopefully we can hold them off and be a mixed bag of things. But like I said, we got that quick caution right after we pit. I was like, nobody pitted. We played the choose cone and went up to, I think, 8 maybe or something like that, or 6 or 8, you know, third or fourth corner outside row. And, you know, Phil's behind me. I was like, we're sitting good. If we don't get another caution, these guys are going to run out of tires. And it played right into our hands.
Yeah, and talking about tires a little bit, you know, like I personally drive these cars. I love these cars a little bit. You know, when you get those new tires, it really doesn't feel that much different compared to the old tires. I mean, yeah, you can make a couple passes, but overall it feels kind of airtight. You know, Dustin, like what were you kind of feeling, you know, coming through the field? We saw you coming through the field, but it wasn't like super fast. You were kind of like almost easy with it a little bit. Was that you, or was that just the car not being 100% there for you?
I was trying to save because, like I said, you know, we had hit at 113, we had, you know, roughly 70, 80 laps to go when we kind of got running. I was like, we gotta make passes, but we gotta pace ourselves. And like, you know, Jeff Bergener, he'll hanging out there on the outside, and you know, I was like 3 or 4 laps. I was like, I'm burning my right front, even trying to be easy. And if you clip that white line just right, the car will hook, and you can mat it straight out, and it gives you a little momentum. It feels like. And finally, I hit it to clear him. But yeah, I was trying to pace myself because I knew I had Phil behind me, and I was making all the holes, so it was easier for him to pass. So he was saving. He's a better tire saver than I am anyway. And I was like, so, and then I was, you know, with G, he was running a good line. He was checking the center up, you know, slowing my. I was rolling the center really well, and so I couldn't cut under him, and I was finally able to get by him, and you know, then we kind of set sail at that point.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Dustin. I mean, overall, I mean, great night. Did all the things really you could do right there, and I mean, you look great out there. But you know, you look into next season. You know, we're going on the street stocks. You know, I'm guessing you probably have a little bit of experience with those. Are you excited about that? Looking for any tracks? What you think?
I'm really excited. I've kind of said I haven't driven since we switched to these cars, but you know, that's what our league started at, and I won quite a few races. Won a championship, and our previous league, I won a couple of championships in the street stocks. Like so all these guys have been racing together since like 20. Let me look at one of my plaques. 2019, 2020. A lot of these guys we've been together 4 years. We got a handful of guys that have been racing together for 4 years now. But I'm excited for street stocks. I'm lobbying for one road course because we used to do one road course. I love road course racing, and I'm not even the fast like. There's some fast guys that do a lot of road course racing in this group. Like Randy Nichols is hands down probably one of the fastest guy in the group as far as road racing goes. But I just enjoy it, and it's fun throwing that big heavy crap box around the corners, you know.
Yeah, well, and you know you're excited about it, but we sure are excited for it next year. We're gonna be back in the booth next year.
Yes, y'all are. Can't wait.
So, we're going to be enjoying it, but overall, Dustin, congratulations. Is there anyone you want to shout out? Take the floor. You got it, man.
Yeah, man, of course. You guys in the booth have said everything, the quality's great. Love the commentary. Love how you guys bring people in here or there. You know, everything's a great job. Of course, all the drivers that make this league possible. Of course, you know, we butt heads here and there. Everybody does. We're racing, even though, you know, it's not real. race control. He did great this year. All the admins, Phil, Jesse, Robbie. Yeah, I mean, it's just been, like I said, of course, Zoofab, my business, Zoofab Garage, J&G Hardwood-Flooring, DCD, Dante Curtis Designs for the paint job. Yeah, man, just been a great year for the league, and just grow it every year.
Well, congratulations, Dustin. We're so excited. We'll see you next year.
Thank y'all.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Congrats, Dustin. Wow, the 89 coming home victory lane on the last one. I'll give you a second to respond to me there. Congrats, Dustin. I was very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I said there wasn't much right front left after the 70-something laps there either. I said I had 38% on the right front. We were still digging and trying to save at the same time. So, and I forgot to check after the pit stop to see what my rights were. When I made 2 stops there, my rights and lefts, and
hey,
yeah.
man, you talked about it and you did it right. You ended up in victory lane. It was awesome to see, man.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all.
All right. Jason, man, Dustin Shepard grabbing this win, 410 grabbing the championship. It was a hell of a night out here tonight.
It sure was, Dane. That was a really fun race to watch. Great championship battle, and it was all around just a great time.
It really was. Fantastic time. That's the end of a season here. Then the end of the late models for a little bit. They'll be back, don't worry. But they're going to be moving over to the street stocks. We look forward to that. It's a little different. He talked about the big crap box. Well, it's not a crap box, but it's a little tankish. So there'll be some door banging. Those high revved motors, they're not going that fast, but they can take a little bit of a beating. So they're a lot of fun. Can't wait to grab that. So we'll be down for a little bit here. When they come back, we'll come back. I can't wait to bring it to you. But from here, for the SoNatty Showdown on championship night, where Guillaume Fortin was crown champion, or Guillaume Fortin, I'll get it right one of these days. Gee, sorry, buddy. But that'll wrap it up from here. And for myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Colin J. Kennedy, and Mr. Martin, we'll see you